We're
All
live.
right, we're live. What embargo? We're live. Yellow Snapper and Big Tuna here. We were just talking about zombie apocalypse because The Walking Dead's coming back next Sunday, and Yellow Snapper doesn't even really care about it. But me,
No.
I'm obsessed.
Because that shit's not real.
This shit's not real, but it's real for the tuna, and the tuna's going to be prepared. But in the meantime, while we wait for this and we wait for The Walking Dead to come back, today we are doing Smoking Blind. We're smoking Unbanded, aren't we, man? And you got what I gave you, right?
Yep. So Seth, so just to give you viewers the background of what this is like. So Seth, about a week or so ago, each of us an Unbanded Cuban cigar, and then we smoked it within the last couple of days, and yeah, and it says.
You smoked it? I didn't smoke it. I smoked one of them, but I'm smoking on the show blind.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So check this out. So Seth actually, there's a little mix up on like whatever number to send, but communication on that. But so I sent Seth, I sent you 3 Unbanded, and I know we're not gonna get to talk to the third one, but I still want you to smoke that one so that get your take on it. But so Seth spoke to one of them yesterday. I smoked the one Seth gave me yesterday, and Seth is smoking 2 or 3 on the show tonight. So for Seth, we'll be able to talk about 2 of them for Seth, and then for me, we'll talk about the one that I smoked yesterday. All right. So how about this? How about we first talk about what we got out of each of the cigars in terms of like, I'm gonna light this up first. I'm gonna light this one up. Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
So let's do it. Begin the intro while I light.
Okay. So you want me to talk about the one that I smoked?
Mm-hmm. I do.
All right, cool. So the one that I smoked, just before actually lining it up, the actual look of the cigar is very Maduro like. It's very, it's a very dark wrapper. And when I say dark wrapper, I don't mean like, of course, the non-Cuban like the Oscuro Rosado kind of what you're typically used to seeing in that Maduro, but like a Cuban Maduro, right? Like something that could be comprised of. When I think about that, I think about a lot of the LE stuff gets pushed out, especially the newer LEs. I think about, of course, the Cohiba Maduro, but I'm thinking more like in terms of like the stuff that gets pumped out on a limited edition basis. So, I took out a little handy dandy ruler, and
you used a ruler? You little son of a gun! You weren't supposed to use a ruler.
Well, I gripped the cigar, right? So I gripped the cigar. I didn't put a blindfold on. I didn't put no fucking purple blindfold on. That's for damn sure.
Hey, don't make fun of the purple blindfold, man. Blindfold has done magical things. Little eye guard at the bottom, man. It's like a little cushiony eye thing at the bottom.
That's for sleeping, right? It's to get you a good night's rest. That's the kind of shit that they give you on international flights.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get this for international flights or for sleeping, but either way.
So I first gripped it, just kind of get a gauge of, I know how long this shit is right here. And then I took the ruler out. I kind of know how long this shit is, like
I know what I'm doing there.
Just for science. Learn more about anatomy. But I gripped it and I was like, well, and then I took a ruler out and I was like, it's about like 6 1/4 in length by about 50 ring gauge. And then that got me thinking, all right. I was like, immediately I narrowed it down before even like lighting it up. I was thinking, okay, this wrapper is really freaking dark. And I immediately thought of limited editions. And then so I was like, I kind of thought about what limited editions out there. Immediately I was thinking about, the Partagas, the LE14, the Selection Privada. What also came to mind was the Monte Cristo Granamundo, which is the 2012, right? The 12? No, I'm sorry, the 2010 LE, the Granamundo, right? Yeah. So I started smoking it, and I was like, here, I wrote some stuff down when I was smoking it. All right. So, I just kind of looked at the construction of it. I first wanted to see that you wouldn't pull a fast one on me and make sure that it was a Cuban cigar.
I didn't want to be that dick. I was like, man, I could be a total dick, but I would not do that. Not to you.
Right. So here's the thing: is I didn't know that you were going to be a dick or not to try to test me, right? So I was all like, all right.
Then you're like freaking out, man. You're like,
so I was all like, all right. So let me first, because typically for the most part, if it's a Cuban cigar, you can for the most part tell by the roll of it, right? Like some of the classic examples of like a lot of the Cuban cigars that had this like unpressed veins, and they're just kind of like knotted up on the actual wrapper. I took a look at that. I took a look at just kind of like the pack of the cigar. It was a really, it's well packed. There's no any soft spots or anything like that. So I was thinking, this sucker should smoke pretty well. It was some shitty, single cab. It was a nice little triple cap on it. So off of that, I figured, it's got that barnyard stank, which I like in a cigar, like every freaking guy does.
Yeah, it's stank.
And then, so I lit that guy up, and then I said, so in terms of like overall smoking experience, it was a lot of this, like off the bat, a lot of this like milk chocolatey aspect of it. There's a lot of the cedary. It was the best way I could describe it is there was like this almost like an acidity to it, like a zest aspect of it. But vast core of it was like creamy milkiness, chocolate, you got some faint caramel in there. And that reminded me of how the Granamundo smoked back in the day. And it's also, the thing is, that also reminded me of how the Partagas Selections Privada smoked as well. Except that I haven't visited that Partagas since they originally released it. But in that Partagas, man, I got this like almost like a, like sometimes you get like stone fruit notes with like chocolate mixed in cigars. I got a lot of that, but I didn't necessarily get that in this cigar. Yeah, so I will say, based upon the fact that most LEs that get this really big chocolatey, milky aspect of it, I would say based upon that and based upon the wrapper being fairly Maduro, that it is a LE style of something. Yeah.
And I'm gonna. Or am I going? What am I doing here?
You got to confirm. I'm all right. So we gotta. I'll tell you what. We gotta name the actual cigar that we think it is. All right. Marca and Vitola. So based upon that, I'm gonna have to say it's that Partagas Selection Privada.
That's your guess? Final guess? Final guess.
That's all I got, man. Based upon the Vitola and the tasting notes.
You're incorrect.
Oh, okay. What is it?
It's a Monte Cristo Granamundo. The 2012 Granamundo, man.
Oh, okay.
Limitada. It's that Monte.
Limitada
from 2K12.
Yeah. Ah, damn it. I knew I shouldn't. Ah, fuck.
You shouldn't have gone back on yourself, man.
Yeah. No, but the actual flavor profile was a lot of that Monte milk chocolate aspect of it that I get in a lot of Montes.
Monte Cristo Granamundo is like really Monte Cristo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fuck.
Wasn't it a good stick?
It was a delicious cigar. I actually haven't had that cigar in like, dude, it's been like 4 years because I just laid them down. I laid them down for the long haul, and I was like, you know what? I'm never going to bother touching these after a few years. So nice. Wow.
No, yeah, the 2010, not 12. It's the 2010.
10.
Yeah. I don't know because there. The 08 was the Sublimes, 10 was the Monte Cristo, 12 was the 520.
Correct. Interesting. It still has the core flavors of what I remember it having then.
It's still smoking great.
Yeah. Nice. Fuck me, man. I should have because I kept thinking about it when I was smoking. I was all like, man, oh well.
I know. It was a good shit though, isn't it?
Yeah. But I will say that based purely on the looks, you know that it's a limitada.
Oh yeah, that dark wrapper gave it away. In fact, when I sent that, I was like, this is gonna be obvious. Like this, because it was obvious that you were gonna get a limitada. Because those limitadas are always dark.
Right. Well, it's not too bad. All right.
Oh, you had it up there, man. You had one.
I know. I did. I shouldn't have second guessed myself, but no, that was pretty close. I mean, but what I do know about Monte Cristo is exactly what I tasted it. So,
all right, this Robusto I'm smoking.
All right.
Is this regular production?
No, you tell me if it's regular production. I'm not going to tell you.
My first guess. First out of the gate reaction. And then I'm going to tell you my second out of the gate reaction. First thing, I was like, I lit it up, I'm smoking it. I'm like, wow, this is like a Partagas D4. And then I was like, wait a minute. Wait one effing minute. The last time I thought when Yellow Snapper sent me a Partagas, it turned out to be an Oya. So I was like, is this an Oya Epicure number 2?
Oh.
It doesn't smoke like an Epicure number 2. I said, but then I was thinking, but I said, no, this is producing that stone fruit, that spice that comes with a Partagas. And then I was remembering, I was thinking, yeah, I remember we were getting that little D4 D5 battle. So I'm like, this could be a Partagas D4 because it's got that little Robusto quality going for it.
So, in other words, you're saying yes, you believe it is a regular production. Let's answer that question. Let's answer that question first.
You know, here's the problem. This is what I'm going to say about sending a regional. There are so many effing Robustos.
Yeah.
There are tons. So my initial reaction would be this is regular production. Obviously, it's not.
Obviously, it actually is. So let's get through that.
Damn it. It is regular production. Okay.
Okay. So
it is a
so
Robusto.
Here's the thing.
It is a Robusto.
Right. It's a Robusto. It's a regular production Robusto. Let's talk about what you think is the age of it. You know, you think it's a young Habanos? You think it's an age? What do you think?
I'm thinking this is anywhere between 07 and 2010.
Oh, interesting. It's actually relatively fresh. So you want me to tell you what year it is? So it's actually a 13 cigar.
Wow.
But I agree. Yeah, I mean, because when you smoke that guy, I assume the reason you're saying this 2013 is because you don't really taste a lot of that, or any of that, rather, metallic ammonia flavors that's typically present within a 1-2 year cigar, right?
No, it's really why I'm saying that is, you know, I've been smoking a lot of stuff of mine from like between 07 and 10, particularly like some Partagas, some Monte Cristos, and this is kind of where how they're smoking, in my opinion. So,
right.
But man, this just goes to show, man, 2013, 2 years, they're smoking great.
Yeah. So, you know, you talked about the flavor profiles you're getting of like the spice of some fruit that makes you feel like it's very reminiscent of Partagas, right?
Makes me think of Partagas. It's got a nice little zingy pepper on the finish.
Yeah.
There's the sweetness. There's that stone fruit. Really great. And it makes me think, all right, so I'm like going through regular production Robustos.
Right.
You know, you got Cohiba. I guess you could say, I wouldn't say Mundo, but you got Bolivar, Partagas, Oya, Juan Lopez. Oh my, St. Louis Rey. Dude, is this a friggin' Juan Lopez?
Is it?
That would be my next.
Think about the flavor.
I know, man. This is, well, actually, shit. Hold on. I'm gonna keep smoking this.
Okay. So how about, all right, you want to keep smoking that? You want to talk?
Here are my 3 guesses: Partagas, or Juan Lopez, or St. Louis Rey. I'm gonna keep smoking this, then we'll come back to it. Let's go to that Petite Corona that I smoked that I posted on Instagram.
All right. So you named it on Instagram of what you think it is, which is you think it's a Raphael.
Someone said it was either a Raphael or a something, but my initial reactions when I smoked that were the only things that I could think could be were either a Rafael Gonzalez Perlas or a Cohiba Siglo 1.
Sure, good guesses based upon purely on the Vitola, correct?
Vitola, appearance of the wrapper, the flavor profile that came with it,
everything, all encompassing.
Yeah, but when smoking it, I was like, gosh, if this is a Cohiba, it has to have some years on it because there's no way this is a young Cohiba.
Right, I agree, and the only reason I say that is because I had a 14 Siglo 1, and man, those are rough. Like they're incredibly rough around the edges.
Yeah.
So yeah. So definitely you're right in the sense of saying it is not a young Siglo 1. Do you think that it had Cohiba profile tasting notes to it?
I think it had a little bit of it.
To what extent?
Had a little bit of a citrus twang to it.
Okay. I can see that.
A little bit of like a lemongrass. But it wasn't overly Cohiba in the sense of, you can usually tell when you're smoking a Cohiba. I mean, it's one of those things. But it just had a little bit of that quality, which, I've smoked some Rafael. I haven't smoked tons of Rafael Gonzalez. That's the thing. But the ones I have smoked are more in line with kind of that flavor house rather than some of the richer, bolder ones. But it's nowhere near in line with something like a Cato Say or an Oya. So that's my initial gut reaction was kind of a Siglo 1 with some age on it. But it's not a great Siglo 1.
Yeah. I think the Siglo 1 gas breaks down for me when because I've had a huge amount of like 12s and 10s of Siglo 1s, and I feel like Cohiba in general, like once it's gotten away from that sick period, it gives a lot of these nothing's going to be overly powerful. Like not one note is going to overpower the other, and I feel like it's a very balanced smoke. It's a very nuanced, complex smoke, and it's incredibly balanced, like you're saying. And which I felt like that Petite Corona is not quite that. I feel like it's a little more creamier and a little bit more of a different kind of a stone fruit than what I typically taste in a Cohiba.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It was popping in a couple more directions rather than like a Cohiba.
Right. So what else is out there? So let's think about that. So who was it that are you sure you weren't the one that says Perla?
I guessed it was a Perla just because kind of the size. I looked at it and I was like, man, that's around, let's put it this way. When you put it in a humidor around a couple cigars where you know what the dimensions are, I'm like, okay, so this is around 4 inches, and I can guess the ring gauge is between, it's low 40s.
Yeah. So
it's different from some Petite Coronas in the fact of that. So I was like, someone said Perlas, and I was like, yeah, that's a damn good guess because that's kind of the size line that it's in.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the cigar? Like, did you enjoy smoking it?
It wasn't bad. I wasn't really like blown away by it. It's not something that speaks to me as a smoker.
Yeah.
But it's a fun size. I would love to see the size with a couple other brands that I really like.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things.
Okay. You're saying that you don't really typically smoke a lot of Rafael Gonzalez, but within the Rafael Gonzalez's that you've smoked, what does it typically taste like for you?
A Rafael Gonzalez? I'd have to go back to it's been that long since I really smoked a Rafael Gonzalez.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like most of the population that, I don't think people smoke a lot of it. So
let's see. Someone said it's a Piedra or a Rafael Gonzalez Dog Rocket aged to perfection.
Interesting. Those are bold words, man. Who said that? I forget. Was it Andy that said that?
No, it wasn't Andy. This was the Great White Shark. He's up in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those were bold words, especially, I mean, lay it down on that man.
All right. So, final guess. What do you think it is? Tell me what you think the age of the cigar is roughly, and then tell me what you think the marca and the actual cigar is.
I'm guessing.
All right.
Here's the thing, though. When someone said Rafael Gonzalez, I looked it up. That's pretty recent production.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty new.
Fairly new.
Because of that, of how it's smoked, I was like, I could see this being young.
Uh-huh.
So I'm guessing 2013 Rafael Gonzalez Perlas.
Exactly. So here's the thing. No, you did. So here's why there's a reason behind the ones that I gave you within the three. So
what were they like in 2013?
Oh, unsmokable.
Yeah, rough.
Yeah, incredibly rough. Like, not even don't even bother touching them. But one of the things that I come to really value is finding that cigar that just makes you go, why the hell am I chasing after bands and smoking all this crazy new shit? Like, that's expensive, right? The LEs, the regionals, etc. And I sent that guy over to you thinking, well, I'm going to see what he thinks of something that's considered cheap and cheerful.
Cheap and cheerful. I love it.
Right? So I purposely did it to do I probably put that in for that. And when I asked you if you like that cigar or not, you said, well, it wasn't bad. It's really not up to your tea. Like, it's not really up to your cup of tea, right? Yeah, and you wouldn't really seek it out.
By the way, at no point, interrupting you really quick, at no point did I ever think it, because in line with that Montecristo, within the Cohiba Siglo 1, there's also a very similar Montecristo and Romeo. Yes. I think the Monte number 5.
Right.
And it's like a Romeo Petit.
Yeah, I think they're the Cazadors that they have out.
Yeah, it's not a Cazador, but it's something. No? It's like a petite. It's like a petite. I'd have to look it up. I'll look it up.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, at no way is this smoking like a Montecristo or Romeo. No way at all.
Agreed.
That's yeah. With what you're saying.
Okay. No. So that's why I gave that. That was the reason behind why I put that guy in there for you, because I wanted to see what you think of the actual cigar, right? Like something that's on the cheaper side of things, something that kind of gets kind of crapped on, you know.
Oh, so yeah. It totally gets crapped on.
Yeah. So, yep, that was that. So let's talk about how far are you into that Juan Lopez.
And this Juan Lopez. So, well, first of all, here's the question: what was the price point on those Rafael Gonzalez Perlas?
Oh gosh, cheap.
25 or?
That came out of the cardboard box.
Cardboard box.
Cardboard box of 20, I think 25 for $80.
Yeah, that's super darn cheap.
Right, and I'll ask you this: for that kind of a price range, what non-Cuban cigar, or let's see, what cigar period for that price range do you think will step up to that? That's worthwhile for you. What I'm trying to drive at is
I probably smoke a La Forticana over that.
Really?
Probably.
Interesting. All right.
Probably.
$3 Petite Corona. You smoke.
It's a great little price on those Rafael Gonzalez. I mean, that's a great price. $80 for a box of 25.
Yeah, true.
That's a darn good price.
But okay.
It's one of those things. I'd be interested to see how it smokes in a couple more years. But here's the problem though with this, and this is the great thing, is that it's smoking better after a couple of years. It's been 2 years. Great price point. But for $80, I don't want to age some cheap $80 sticks. For instance, spend $20 more gets them H. Upmann half Coronas.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, in which you know it's going to age well.
Yeah, it's going to age well, and you can smoke the hell out of them now.
Yeah, but man, I don't know about that because most stock that's aged, that's out there, is the better known Marcus, the H. Upmanns, the like you're saying, right, and all the other ones. It's basically not the Jose Piedras, it's not the Quintero, it's not the Rafael Gonzalez. But
Jose Piedras.
Yeah, well, I don't like those in general, anyways. But
they're entertaining short filler smokes, I think.
Yeah, I agree. But well, actually, no. Maybe I go back on why you don't want to buy those. There's so much shit to buy that I don't really think about buying stuff like Piedra. So,
but you know, here's the funky thing though. That now that I think about this, which kind of negates my argument, I bet you that in a couple of years we could buy a box of Rafael Gonzalez Pearls, or I could go into LCDH or so forth. But I could buy and find an age box, a very well aged box, without a problem. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I mean, conceptually and within the market trends, technically that should happen. But if you make that comment, I feel like you could find it now.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find a 13 box now.
No, but like I'm talking about well aged. I'm talking about like a relatively mature cigar. You know, the 5-year plus. Fuck it. I mean, the 8-year plus mark. That's pretty damn matured. I feel like given the fact that probably not many people buy these, and really, I don't think Habanos SA really produces these much for that matter.
I bet it's very, very small production.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, I think it's a function of the low production and as well as the fact that when, you know, it's produced just enough that people pick them up when they're recent production, and that you can't really find much aged stock of these. But I will also say most typical Cuban cigar smoker have not had the opportunity to smoke aged Rafael Gonzalez, like Marcus, like Rafael Gonzalez, because it just gets plucked out in the low production numbers of it. So it's not really fair to say if you like an aged something like Rafael, and then you would rather spend that and then buy the Upmann, you know, Petit Coronas, the half Coronas, the, you know, the Partagas, you know, Super Partagas or whatever, like all those, you know, skinnies that all the better known markets have. I haven't had that opportunity to smoke aged, you know, one of these lesser known markets like the Rafael, but I wouldn't discount that it's not going to be as good as something like Upmann or one of the better known ones. I can't tell because the reason I say that is because I just haven't smoked it, and unless I smoke something, I'm not going to talk about it, give an opinion on it. So, yeah,
I mean it's one of those things that it's just it's interesting. You know, it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Is it bad? No.
Yeah.
People like it. Yeah, I can see why people like it.
Yeah, for sure. Like and the interesting thing about what you said was it's not really a cup of tea. It's kind of like whatever, like you do without it. It's what most people think about Rafael Gonzalez. So
yeah, it is.
So you hit the nail on the mark on that one for sure. So cool, man. Well, good job. I did not think that you would get that because I picked a Petit Corona in which there's quite a few of in production.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, exactly. So for you to be able to filter through and talk about, like, all right, so let's narrow down to what market is, and then, you know, based upon your smoking experience, that's pretty good, man.
It's smoking it. Once you get to that first third, you can kind of be like, okay. And it was one of those things that I didn't even think of Perlas, but I was like, okay, I know which kind of where it kind of was taking me. I didn't even think of Jose Piedra, but
yeah,
who knows,
dude? You know,
anyways.
I'm not trying to go back and beat a dead horse, but that Gran Mundo that you gave me. So I'm such a freaking idiot because that cigar did not smoke like it was a young cigar at all. That's the funny part. And I ended up concluding on that it was a part of the Selection Suprema, or the Selection Privada, which is stupid because I kept thinking, these are Monty flavors. These are Monty flavors. And then I'm like, wait a minute, this is LE. LEs are not typically a good representation of the Marca.
No,
except for the few of Monte Cristo. I think Monte is a good representation of the actual Marca.
I think Monte Cristo is the only Marca that keeps to its Marca when it does a limited edition. I'll be even bold to say that the Mundo Dantes. Because they're kind of Monte Cristos, even though they're not Monte Cristos. While they do not necessarily taste like a Monte Cristo, there is almost this flavor profile, which is like, this is just a little variation of a Monte Cristo.
Agreed.
Like a creamier, more balanced, more Monte Cristo.
Mm-hmm. No, I hear you. I agree. Fucking
but those Montes have been like, I have them in like this really, really cool place with a very low humidity, so they're just kind of breezing along.
Yeah, just slowly marinating in its rightful place.
Slowly marinating it. But I bet you if I put that in a humidor that has a little bit more variation temperature, a little bit higher humidity, it'd be in a different place right now.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I have some 08s, which, to be honest, like those Sublimes, I have some Monte 08 Sublimes, which I don't think they're smoking that great.
Dude, they've gone downhill. I don't know why people search for that anymore. Like, I mean, at one point it was an amazing cigar, no doubt.
Oh yeah, I think probably to like 2011, 2012, it was a great stick.
I agree.
But it's started to go
down. No, I completely hear. I had I bought a 5er at one point. I think back in like 2010 or 11 or something like that. And I smoked one at 12, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, I got to get more. And then, I keep having the mentality of, I don't want to smoke one right now. I'm just going to, keep some more and see how they age. I smoked one last year, and I was like, oh, glad I don't have any more of these.
Oh, totally. I mean, it's at that point now where it's like you can either smoke them and just say, I'm going to smoke them. Or if you have an unopened box, never open them. Leave them there.
Right.
Sell them for a shit ton of money.
Right.
Buy something new that's really good.
Right. No, I agree. I completely agree. Because there's still quite a number of folks out there that believes the Sublimes are the Monte Cristo Sublimes are the one of their top cigars. So.
Oh yeah, it's just yeah. Man, I remember it. It was awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like for some of the newer Habano smokers out there. So like I would back in the day check out cigarinspector.com.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a really good job of, having the actual cigar featured, having user base come in and review these cigars. And then, of course, after that, you rate them based upon those. And the Sublime, I think till this day, is rated #1 on that website. Or it's definitely high up there. Definitely, I would say top 5, let's say. But the thing is, like, I had to realize that when I went back and read the reviews, it was depending upon when people were starting to review them, right? Mm-hmm. And then I assume it's a function of like the simple algorithm of hitting top 10 or top 100 or whatever the heck they do of how many people review that cigar, right, to get up to that level. So, but yeah. Anyways, all right. What you're smoking now? Tell me.
St. Louis Rey Regios.
Damn it! Why?
It's just
you think that's St. Louis Rey?
A good one.
No way, dude. Those Regios haven't been good in like. Gosh, for me,
it might have been a good one. It's just. I'm not confident with my Partagas answer, but what is it? Don't tell me this is a freaking Juan Lopez.
It is a Juan Lopez. It's one of your favorite fucking markets. Yeah.
Shit. Damn. What year is this?
14.
Oh shit, dude! I love those fucking.
You love it.
I love those 2014 Juan Lopez, and I'm like, man, no way. Well, there you go, guys. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying right now.
Right? Isn't that crazy? First of all, that doesn't smoke like a 14 whatsoever, right? We had this conversation earlier on.
No, because the 14 Juan Lopez are awesome.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a Juan Lopez guy, as you know, but I actually got originally a 5 of those off of Box Split, and then right after I smoked one, I was like, oh man, like I gotta get some. I actually got a whole box of them.
Yeah, they're friggin' phenomenal. And gosh, man, it's a good smoke.
Right?
There's something, there's a stone fruit quality with those 14 Juan Lopez.
Yeah.
Which it's almost uncommon with some Juan Lopez.
I agree.
I don't always get it. And what I liked about the Juan Lopez 2014 Robustos, by the way, this is my way of trying to BS my way out of fucking not guessing. So someone might watch this and be like, holy shit, that's a pretty good defense. But I'm just shit. What I like, it's got a really nice spice level. It's a strong spice level, which you get with Juan Lopez. Because I think Partagas usually slips into that earthy stone fruit, damp wood really quickly.
Yeah.
That Juan Lopez brings, the 2014 Robutos have some of that stone fruit quality in them while showing a lot of spice to it. And as I progress with this cigar, I'm not going to lie now, it is getting spicier, and I should have fucking guessed that, and that's shame on me. Why I said St. Louis Ray was just because I totally was not confident with Partagas. So I was like, I'm just going to throw something which is kind of similar to Partagas. And hopefully I was right, but I was totally wrong.
Yeah. I feel like, so what you're saying about what you typically get out of Juan Lopez, typically Juan Lopez to me, and the reason why I don't like Juan Lopez for the most part is it's a very woody smoke. Like it's a dominantly woody smoke.
It's woody. It's very natural. Very just spice. It's a very summer cigar in my opinion. Yeah,
like spicy, woody, natural tobacco notes. Like that's the dominant factor of most Juan Lopez for me, which is why I don't like them. But I felt differently about this one.
This is the 14s are. There's more there to them.
Yeah.
Which is explaining why I totally F this up, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, and so kind of going back to the reasoning behind I picked that one is I know that you're a Juan Lopez, you like Juan Lopez overall, but I felt like the reason for that one I didn't get exactly a Juan Lopez out of it, and I also picked that because there's some discussion on various Habanos forums about how people believe the newer productions that Cuba is putting out is just ready to smoke that much sooner as compared to back in the days of you having to sit on it. And I feel like that's a great representation of that statement.
Very cool. Because imagine where this is going to be in a couple of years. It's not that it's not that it needs, and this is complex because it's not that it needs age, even though it does.
Right.
But it's awesome right now.
Exactly.
It's reach a whole new level. It's not one of those things like it needs age to improve. This just needs age so it can really be awesome.
Right. To kind of meld together that much more together.
Yeah, just even more.
Yeah, but like but at the same token that you're saying is it's enjoyable now. So it's not a it's not a total miss. It's not you should smoke it now. You could also smoke it now and you could thoroughly enjoy it, right?
Yeah. Great stick.
Yeah. So
the sad thing is I smoked a Juan Lopez Robusto from 2014 Saturday morning.
Did you hey, let me ask you this.
Put on my headband now. I'm totally ashamed. I don't want to look at the
here's a way to redeem yourself right now. How many cigars have you had today?
This will be third.
Third?
Wait a minute. Third. No. Okay. Take that back. Fourth.
Okay, what'd you smoke before this? I mean, if you're smoking for like
Start out with the day with a Davidoff Puro d'Oro.
nice.
Then I smoked the new Hamlet cigar with Rocky, the Hamlet.
Oh,
Rocky
oh
Hamlet.
yeah. I wanna talk about that actually. But anyways, keep going.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
By the way, I picked up his Salomones.
Oh, they're out.
Yeah, my store's gone. We have a.
Oh, okay.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Then I smoked that Oya, Epicure #1, the Corona Gordy.
Oh, you mean Hoyo?
Hoyo.
You did the same
Oya.
shit when you had a show with Dustin. You kept saying it.
Hoyo. No, he called it Oya. He called it Oya.
Oh, was that him?
I'm calling it Oyo. Oyo. Hoyo.
All right.
de Monterey.
All right, cool. All right, so you're not over there smoking like, super strong, non-Cuban Nicaragua stuff before you smoke that.
That Hamlet's got that Mexican wrapper, which is pretty.
Oh good. Yeah, it's a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, right?
Yeah, it's got a big wrapper to it.
Yeah, I mean, what I was trying to say is, maybe if you smoke that as your first one of the day, you might feel a little different about it.
Yeah, maybe if I didn't fuck up. No, I totally fucked up. Thanks for trying to help me out. I totally screwed myself on that one.
Dude, I gave you one of your favorites, dude. That's what I'm trying to say, man. Like
you threw the ball right down the middle, and I struck out.
And that's the power of not smoking the band in the box.
But you know what, though? If I smoke this, and this is what I'll say. If you gave me a box of Juan Lopez 2014 and said, hey, will you buy this? Absolutely. If you gave me a bundle of 25 of these Unbanded, and I smoked one and you said, would you buy it? I'd be like, absolutely. It's not like I'll be like, no, this is fucking terrible. Agreed.
Yeah, I hear you.
If I said this was shit, I'd be a fucking idiot.
No, I agree. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, if the cigar's off, the band is off, or the band is on, if it's a good smoking, tasting experience, it's exactly what that is, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. Cool, man. Well, so that's that's the cigars that we've had. Let's Seth, you got one more. Maybe we could talk about that as a part of the next show, or you could, do like a write-up on it or something.
We'll talk about it on the next show.
Yeah. If we don't get the next one right, I'm going to be pretty fucking disappointed.
I know.
No, seriously. No. All right. Cool. So I actually smoked another blind cigar that you didn't give me, but it was through BMP.
Yeah, blind man.
Yeah. So, totally.
Speaking of BMP, here's the funniest thing I heard today.
Huh.
And this is great because you're innocent on this matter.
Huh.
So I'm sitting in my cigar shop, and one of my buds like, Seth, you smoked the Damaso, right? I was like, yeah, I smoked the Padron Damaso. He's like, it's garbage, isn't it? I said, yeah, it's complete garbage. He says, man, what are some of those guys at Blind Man's Puff smoking? And I said, well, let me defend Yellow Snapper because Yellow Snapper killed it. I said, all the other guys, I don't know. But Yellow Snapper, listen. So I said, who knows what they're smoking? I said, maybe they got mistaken Blind Connecticut's.
They're what the fuck did that review as? That cigar actually got a good review on it overall. Yeah, I think it got like an 89 or 88 or something.
Yeah, which is fucking generous.
That's incredibly generous. Are you kidding, dude? Because you know what? I'm gonna pull that up right now. I'm gonna tell you, out of I think the four of us that reviewed that damn cigar, how much I shattered on it. It's not because I have anything against Padron. Of course I don't, because I mean I smoked the darn thing blind. Overall, I really enjoy a Padron. I don't quite feel the same about this one in particular. So,
well, the thing about it is it's not. It's one of those things that, don't go into it. I did not. It's not that I hated it because it didn't smoke like Padron, and I think that's where you are too. It's not that. It's not that it didn't smoke like. It's like, oh man, this didn't smoke like a 64 or 26. I hated it.
Right.
I hated it.
Yeah.
Because it's bad.
Right.
And then if you add a purchasing level on top of that,
Right.
for the price range, you're like, are you kidding me? No.
No, I agree. I completely agree. I think that I went in there blindly reviewing this, knowing that if I'm looking at this thing, I'm looking at this Robusto, and it's a Connecticut. I think it's a Connecticut shade wrapper, I believe. Ecuador and Connecticut wrapper, and if it's something of that nature, I expect certain notes to come out of it that makes it to make it excellent, and it didn't deliver. No. You know, it was you know, I think I pretty much said that it was lacking in body. You know, it's it's a lack of spice. There's like a lot of these Connecticut's had this bitterness to it, which it definitely had for me. And it was lacking in body, and it just wasn't all that engaging. And it was a poorly made Ecuadorian Connecticut. I think the Drew Estate shade is actually really good Ecuadorian Connecticut.
I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard a lot of really good things about it.
Right.
I haven't smoked it yet, which is kind of a shame. I should really smoke that. I need to email Drew Estate about that.
Yeah. Hit him up. So I mean, overall, I gave that an 83. And the reason the actual tasting notes was horrible. It was like a B- all the way through. Yeah. So
it's one of those. I think when I did, I didn't review it on Sickbed. Robbie Raz did. And he gave it a really good review.
Well, yeah, he probably doesn't have a palate. That's why.
Oh damn! Going after Robbie.
I'm kidding. Rob's a cool dude, man. What the heck are we talking about?
We were talking about Padrones, but before you were talking about a blind cigar you did on bottom.
Oh, all right. So I was in Vegas for a week when I had this cigar, and I brought some cigars. I had to put some reviews through. And I smoked the thing, and I first looked at it, right? And first of all, smoking in Vegas, it sucks because it's so dry there. Wrappers crack like it's like almost every single wrapper has cracked for me when I smoked over there. So I held this Toro, and I was looking at it, and I know that within the cigars being sent out, for the most part, it's a representation of all the stuff that we're getting from the ICPCR show. So it completely effed with my mind because I was looking at this Toro, and I was like, I was turning around, and unpressed veins, very blotchy veins. There's some like that green spots that you typically get in some of the Habanos. And then I immediately G-chatted Aaron, who's one of the co-founders of BMP, for those you that know. And I was like, you messing with me, man? Did you sneak in a Cuban cigar in here? And he goes, did I? And I was like, I don't know. You tell me. So I smoked it in the first third, absolutely just balanced, nuanced, etc. Complex. And the second third, similar. Last third, turned the crap, which makes me believe it's a younger Habanos. So at the end, he's like, well, what is it? And I was like, dude, I don't know. But I was like, I do think it's a Cuban cigar based upon mainly appearance. And it became to be that it was a Siglo 6. But he doesn't know what year it is because he needs to check up with Emmett on what year that is. But which is cool, right? Because Cigars of Habanos, they would give us cigars to review once in a while here and there. But that's just to show you. But the thing is, like, when I went back and looked at my notes, I absolutely scored it very high on the first and second, third, and it's because at the end of the day, a good cigar is a good cigar, right? A tasty cigar is a tasty cigar.
Yeah.
So
it's and especially with the young Cuban, it's like the first third's really good, and then he goes downhill in the second, third. It's one of those things I feel like the further you get into it and the better it keeps on remaining good, it's aging well. But, if it's like right away, it's not smoking well, it needs age.
I agree.
It's one of those things, it's got to progress. It starts at the foot and goes down to the head with the aging.
And here's the cool thing for me is for Cuban cigars, it's once you get to that, like you generally have a sense of how the cigar is going to go and how it's going to age. Whereas I feel like when I smoke a non-Cuban cigar, I smoked many that while having it fresh was really delicious. But given a time, you come back to it, you're like, oh my gosh, like this smokes like a dirty ashtray. What the heck happened, right?
Oh yeah.
So I wonder what that is, man. Like, I mean, I'm curious to know why that's the case. From different blenders or talking to different folks about it. I have no idea. All I know is that based upon my tasting experience, that non-Cubans typically do not age well. So
no, I don't think they do at all. I think there's a couple that do well, but overall, it's just not the case. It's just I think a lot of Aganorsa tobacco ages well, but there's a lot of other stuff which just it just goes to shit. Padron's a classic example. I think it's like. I don't really buy. I used to buy, like the 20, 25 count, 24 count boxes, whatever they are, of like the 26s.
Right.
But I smoked so much stuff and I smoked so much different stuff that I never got around to the whole box. So usually by the time I got to it, it might have been a couple of years. I'm like, gosh, this is kind of gone downhill just because those things are meant to be smoked right when you get them. So it's one of those things. That's the beauty about like those 10 count boxes.
Right.
It's like, I went to an event, at a George Padron event, spoke with George, got a 10 count box. I've smoked probably, I think it was like last year, maybe. Yeah. But it's like, some of them are like, wow, it's not as good as it was. And it's only been like a year or something, but it's like, just refill the box.
Yeah. Wait, did you say you went to Padron? Was George there? Did you ask him about it or?
Oh, hell no. I didn't talk to George about fucking his age and cigars. I'm like, yeah, I love all your shit, dude. It's fucking awesome. No, George is a real. I did an interview with Coop with George, which is a really good interview.
When?
It was like February a year ago.
Not this February. All right.
Yeah, I hope it wasn't this February.
Fairly recent.
Yeah, it's fairly recent, but it's just very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. Yeah. I mean, they do an exceptional job of aging their tobacco. I'll give them that. I mean, when you buy a Padron, people, it's just obviously. I hope everyone's who's watched the show smoked Padron. I mean, it's ready to be smoked.
Yeah,
it is the complete opposite of most Cubans.
Right, which is great because when I typically buy a cigar, or when I smoke a cigar, it's cigar that of course I want to smoke and it's tasty at the moment, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, it's a no-brainer comment, but I mean it's but it is right, it's true. So
I mean, that's why if you go through a lot of my age stuff, you're not going to find a lot of Padron stuff, but you go through my age stuff, you'll find, especially my coolers, you'll find Ziploc bags filled with, you'll be like, holy crap, that's a crap ton of Opus, and it'll be like on little Scotch tape, it'll be like 09, 010, like 10, 11.
Right.
And same with my Cohibas.
Right.
Just because stuff smokes better with age.
Yeah, I agree. Cool, man. Well, we got about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or whatnot. Let's talk about what's up?
We're gonna talk about Hamlet.
Yes. So of the many folks that use the Mexican San Andreas wrapper, you smoke it yet?
Yeah, I smoked this is the Robusto. I picked up the Solomon's. I smoked the Corona. I smoked it at a really bad time, so I didn't really get to. I enjoyed it. I mean, I think first of all, I don't think many people have smoked a Hamlet before. Non-Cubans, that is. So people just kind of hear the story about him and they're like, oh, and there's only very few people who actually know who the hell the guy is. I mean, it's like I was talking with my retailer who's a big Cuban smoker, and about the event, and I was just laughing, and he's like, you and I are going to be the only ones who actually know who the hell this guy is. Like, we're the only ones who could probably go up to him and be like, hey, I've actually smoked your customables.
Right.
So it's just one of those things that it's here he's coming to the States and Nicaragua and so forth, and he's doing something completely different.
Right.
Which I respect him for.
No, I think it's awesome. I love the fact I love stories like that, man. Like, because even before he came over, people really appreciate him, and he's a really good face. He was a really good face for Habanos SA. So
Yeah.
yeah, for his family and himself to come over and give this great opportunity, that's awesome, man. Like that is a American so-called success story, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really like that he's doing something different because
Yeah.
it's like what Nick Malone did with El Wense.
Mm,
I mean, you look at a guy who's blending the League of Nines, T52s, all that stuff.
right.
And then right out of the bat, he blends a very traditional cigar.
Hmm.
Completely different. Which
Yeah.
to me, it's it's not he's not using a lot of tobacco from all over the world. He's using Nicaraguan tobacco, which is
Right. Right. No, I totally agree. I mean, within that hamlet, was it a good representation of Mexican San Andreas?
yeah, I think it's a good Mexican. So,
Yeah.
and I'm not a huge Mexican tobacco fan. So it's one of those things. There's only a couple of sticks that I actually really like. The Mexican wrapper in.
Yeah.
I think Cas Fernandez does a good job with it, but I don't like a lot of other people's um, Mexican rappers. I think Jose. I didn't like the Cinderella Maduro Robusto. I like the
Uh,
Lonsdale,
uh-huh.
but I didn't smoke any other sizes.
Yeah.
Um, and it's interesting to smoke it now after it's aging for a little while rather than smoking it before it's even released fresh.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and
Nice.
there's only a couple other ones that I really like.
Yeah. Cool, man. You want to end the segment and kind of talk about what we smoked the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, man. What'd you smoke this past couple
Uh,
weeks?
Not a lot, dude. Not a lot at all.
Well, you're in Vegas for a week, man.
Yeah, I was, and the stuff that I smoke. I mean, I have been definitely having cigars the last 2 weeks since we met. But I was mainly smoking for Blind Man's Puff and doing cigar reviews, blind reviews for those, which is aside from that Siglo 6, it was all non-Cuban stuff. And I've only smoked aside from that Siglo 6 and the blind one we did. I smoked I think it was a 99. The heck was it? Let me see. Yeah, it was a 99 punch SS number 2, which is so amazing and so great of a representation of what an aged punch should smoke like. You smoked those yet?
A 1999 punch.
Yeah, punch SS number 2. Have you smoked those yet?
I think so. What size is that?
I think it's basically like a Corona Gorda. It's unbanded, like it comes, unbanded in a box and all that. So
No, I haven't smoked it.
no, oh, okay. I'll get you one of those, dude. They're absolutely fantastic, man. The wrappers look like complete ugly dog rockets, but it is, yeah. But whatever, I don't care. I mean, it's like if it draws and if it burns, I'm a happy camper. So I don't really give a shit what it really looks like. So, yeah, that was absolutely delicious. And I smoked that as a response to, I guess that's kind of a continuation of our show we had 2 weeks ago talking about the Thunderdome. So
Thunderdome, Punch Thunderdome.
yeah. So what about you, man? What'd you smoke?
I smoked a bunch of Benelux regionals from my recent return from Antwerp.
Oh, yeah.
Well, first of all, I smoked a custom, which I don't even remember what the hell it was, and it was all right. It wasn't that fucking great.
What custom from? Oh, like some whatever
like
roller.
Friggin' had, and I can't remember what the hell it was. And
Oh,
but I knew it was a custom, so I was like, smoking. I didn't remember what it was, but was like really wasn't impressed. So I smoked a Bolivar Benelux 2009, which amazing Bolivar flavor. Smoked like a Bolivar, awesome.
Yeah, I saw you post that on Instagram.
Yeah, smoked that one, fantastic. Then I also
Nice.
smoked that Ramon Iones Benelux from 2008, which, oh my god, if you can get a box of these babies,
Really?
the ones I smoked were friggin' phenomenal. I mean,
Interesting, dude. I'm trying to buy less Ramon Iones because I have a lot. Like, I have so many of Ramon Nones. I keep looking at it and be like, I need to diversify, but I keep going back to that stuff.
This was one of the best Ramon Ionis I've ever smoked in my entire life. It was
Really?
fantastic. This is the one where I was like, let's look at the notes. Cappuccino, tiramisu, nutmeg. It was.
Ooh, nice.
It was
Sounds
really
like
good.
dessert.
It was.
Sounds like dessert with a good cup of coffee.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I love that smoke. I couldn't get enough of it. Then I smoked an H. Upman of the LCDH, which I'm gonna say this. I like them, but I sometimes struggle in getting behind these.
H. Upman, LC. You're talking about the Royal Robusto? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's I don't know.
They're not ready.
I smoke some, and I'm like, okay. Then I smoke other ones. I'm like, eh.
Huh.
And when I look at all those LCDH releases, now that I've smoked them all and they've been shown for a little bit, but the Bolivar is a winner, hands down. I think the winner.
Mm-hmm. You can't go wrong with Bolivar.
No,
They rarely make they've never made a shitty cigar, in my opinion. The Bolivar Marca has never been a crappy cigar for me.
Well, some of the limitadas, but
oh yeah, okay, agreed.
Disregard the limitadas, but yeah, the Bolivars are just fantastic.
Yeah.
After that Epicure Deluxe, that Hoyo, just to say Hoyo for you, is fantastic. That's another great one.
Yeah.
And then tied for fourth, because I don't really want to give them three right now, is that HM and Royal Robusto and that Ramon Iones.
Yeah.
Corona Gorda. I just don't.
Interesting.
And then I smoked that little Rafael Gonzalez Perla.
Yeah.
Which was a doozy.
I try to get you on that one. I didn't get you on that one, so.
I'm like that Juan Lopez, which I absolutely loved, but it could not even identify it as a Juan Lopez. So,
no, shame on me for actually calling out what I typically get out of Monte Cristo Marca and not even go with Monte Cristo.
But it was a great stick, though, wasn't it?
It was absolutely delicious. It makes me want to crack into my other boxes that I have aging. So,
and then it makes you, and then we talked about the 08 Sublimes. It's like, gosh, I hope the Grand Muno doesn't go downhill the way those do.
Yeah, if they do, it's gonna suck because I'm gonna ditch them after that. Like, it's gonna be I'm not gonna let it get to that point because I do intend to smoke those. Yeah, like once every 6 months or so now because I think it's at that point.
Yeah, you got to smoke them. But it's just, the 08s, smoke them. If you have an unopened box, leave it unopened, hold on to it for a couple years and sell it for a crap ton of money.
Yeah, agreed. Cool, man. Well, let's wrap up. Man. I am starving. I need to eat dinner because unlike you, it's 7:30 over here. So
it's 10:30, man. It's bar time. So yeah, man. You go eat dinner with your extended family.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks, guys, for joining on another episode. As always, you got suggestions, let me know. Let us know. I am on Instagram and
Twitter, and Facebook.
And Facebook.
Just write on the if you have requests, write on the Habanos Critic One Embargo page. Say, hey, I want you guys to do.
Yeah.
And we'll do it within limits.
Right.
Within limits. And we'll even wear our blindfolds. So, which I'm gonna wear this to bed because this thing is comfy as hell.
By the way,
but anyways, we're gonna wrap it up. Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, these are, because you're wearing your feminine purple blindfold. These are actually pink. These are pink. These are pink earphones, by the way. So to a certain extent,
it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Oh, right, which is why I picked these.
Why you're sporting them, dude?
That's why I don't want people getting breast cancer. So
look at that. No other fucking show is supporting breast cancer like we are.
Us. That's right.
Look at this. Is even a little bit. This has even got some pink in it. Dude, breast cancer. Dude, we fucking rock. And we'll be rocking pink. And we'll be rocking pink the next show in October. 2 weeks.
That's right. Now. Cool. All right. Thank you, fellas.
Save the top eyes.
Yeah. Have a good next couple of weeks.
Peace, bros.